Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth here. So I'm a little over halfway to Ponte De Lima. I probably have about a, 90-minute more walk, and I just thought, hey, why don't I just do another video today? I guess I'm on my own. I just passed a guy named Peter. I saw him a bit yesterday. He's from the Czech Republic. He's taking a little break, so we keep like passing each other back and forth on the Camino, and I don't know, I woke up with a big smile on my face. I think each day this walk is getting prettier and prettier, and now we're getting more into like the rural, hilly side of Portugal. And you know, I have very, I guess, like quirky spiritual beliefs for a lot of people, especially those who believe in nothing, because it's like, I guess I would consider myself a Christian mystic. Like, I'm super into, you know, a lot of the Christian roots. And look at those little baby lambs, you know, the Christian roots, but I believe that there's more than that. I do believe in like astrology and numerology and a lot of things that our pagan ancestors have in terms of wisdom of our like living off the land and plant-based medicine and, you know, things like that. I mean, something like this cream trowel mill that I've used for my pain, it's basically arnica, calendula, and echinacea, and you know that's all made out of plants. And my God, did that make a difference? You know, coupled with ibuprofen. But you know, the one funny thing today is I sat down to eat breakfast, and last night at dinner they played Michael Bublé and like some jazz, and it was such a cute little romantic atmosphere. I was like, oh God, I'm just in like this little novel in my brain, and like in reality here is like little butterflies are like flying around my head. But this morning I sat down with my journal at breakfast, and the song came on, Sera, Sera, what will be. And some of the lyrics in the song, I'd have to look it up, but it was just, you know, basically saying the future is unknown and that's the way it will be. And I'm like, how symbolic of that song to play at that very point in time, because the future is unknown. And I think so many of us are so worried about the future, especially with, you know, I don't know, myself and my girlfriends, like worried about finding a life partner. It's like, will we, you know, marry somebody? Will we, you know, have some form of life security? Will we have, will we find love again? You know, these things, some people want to have families, but they're single and in their mid-30s, you know, they're like, I don't know if I have a child, because obviously you need, you need another half to do that. I mean, I guess technically you could get like an egg donor or whatever, but, a sperm donor, I mean. But anyways, I guess where I'm trying to go with this is, a lot of this process of letting go from my past is just having a lot of faith on the future and just believing that things will happen again if you do the work, the soul work, and you allow yourself to grow and learn from these lessons and never make these mistakes again. The irony is, in terms of the heart, divorce was the worst thing I've ever been through. I think any breakup is bad and horrible, but there definitely is something about divorce that makes it so difficult, because it is, I mean, it is a break of like a contract, yes, but it is like a break of a soul contract. And I guess where I'm going with this is the pain that I had the first 3 days that I was in Portugal. I never in my life ever want to experience that level of physical pain again. I've experienced that before by beating myself up in my 20s, by teaching a ton of fitness classes and playing sports like rugby and such in college. But I don't ever want to experience that level of pain in my heart ever again. And this has led me to think a lot about dating and mating. So when this kind of separation, divorce happened, I started to dig more into my astrological birth chart. And there is, you know, the planet of love is Venus. And there are some asteroids in your birth chart, which a lot of people don't know about. They're based off the Roman gods. And there is a asteroid called Juno. And the difference between Venus and Juno is that Venus is for dating, Juno is for mating. And what is super fascinating about that, that's interesting. What's super fascinating about that is, so my Venus is in Aries and my Juno is in Libra. And in my brain, I'm continuously thinking, I'm like, you know, a lot of us are attracted to a certain type of partner or opposite sex, but in terms of mate selection, that becomes, you know, very well defined. So like my Venus in Aries is like a very bold and daring sign, and usually I am attracted to like more athletic-y, kind of charismatic guys, you know, who have good senses of humor and, you know, maybe like a little bit of an adventurous soul to them. But, you know, every other woman on the planet is attracted to that. And, but the thing is, when I started reading about Juno and Libra, I was like, you know, because I had everything I've ever wanted was in my marriage, you know, maybe not 100%, but a lot of it was. And the one thing I loved about, I guess, my partner, or like things that I find very attractive in the opposite gender, are men who balance arts and athletics. They're very balanced. They're balanced emotionally. They have good emotional intelligence. They're balanced mentally. I tend to attract a little bit more of the logical conservative guy. I was always like kind of like the quirky spiritual, like liberal hippie girl. And I would say that it's like yin and yang. You know, I'd have these certain qualities and the other partner has the other. And so I guess where I'm going with this, it's like, man, at this point in life, like walking through these little fields, I was like, I honestly, if some guy was like, let's get married and have a little farm in the country, I'm like, I would totally do it, because this is just like such a quaint, cute life that we don't have to make life so overly complicated. You know, you just kind of like have a child and, you know, teach them gardening and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just really, really interesting, because you know, I've used astrology not only for spiritual purposes, but yes, a lot of it I have used in terms of understanding my own psychology and my own patterns and choices in life, because we all have that. And, you know, it's like I would go on a date with a lot of different type of people, but I would not like necessarily see my life with them, or I wouldn't marry that type of human. And so I think right now it's like the level of pain I went through in divorce, I don't give a shit about materialism. I don't care what they do for their job. I don't care how much money they make. Like, it's like I kind of just want like a simple guy who has some good spiritual sound knowledge. I mean, obviously if it was rooted towards some form of like Christianity, that's generally a little more grounding, because you have some spiritual guys, like, you know, that blow like leaves in the wind, and, you know, it's like, oh, they're my soulmate, but it gave them the excuse to fucking cheat, which is absolutely stupid. I've seen that a lot in like the Burning Man community, which is not spiritual at all to do that. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think if you're into these things like astrology, it's kind of fun to look at and to kind of just, you know, see where your life is leading. Okay, so I am 8.6 kilometers to Ponte De Lima. Sweet. So, yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I always preach balance as well. I think in one of my last videos, you know, I talked about how it's like, even politically, I see things on both ends of the spectrum, and now I just consider myself an independent because I just try to be balanced in thought and have rational ideas about certain things. So, I don't know, balance is a huge thing with me, and it's like, that's all I really care about. I just care about like the energetics of the person. It's, you know, I don't care about the mundane material part, and that I think has to do with a lot of the deprogramming that I've done through spirituality as well as in traveling, because I do have a few girlfriends, you know, like they're in their late 30s, they want to get married, but they're like, let's be realistic. I don't want to earn more money than the man. And so like, that's a very mundane, material plane type of thing. And I know that can very much hinder a lot of the man's ego or kind of self-worth when a woman, you know, has a little more power because she makes more money. But it's like, at some point, it's like, who gives a fuck? Like, it's just some fucking paper bills. Like, it all comes back. That's why I don't know. It's like, I kept saying it to my friends. It's like, my life isn't abundant in terms of money, but it is abundant in life experience. But I also make very wise choices in my life that I just don't go and eat out like 6 days a week. I drink my coffee at home. You know, if you drink a Starbucks a day, you could blow easily $30 a week in money. And then 30 times 52 weeks a year, that's a shit ton of money spent at coffee, comparing it to like, I don't know, a $10 bag of coffee, which lasts me like a month, so, or longer. So anyways, I hope you're kind of enjoying the view on this. This video is long enough. I'm having a really hard time getting these long videos uploaded to YouTube. So thank you for listening. Please subscribe below if you'd like. If you have thoughts, please share your comments. I have to reply to a lot of comments from some other videos, so my sincere apologies for being behind on that. And dating and mating, you know, simplicity, the simple life. It's, man, I don't know. I've always kind of found myself as a somewhat simpleton, but now I think I'm even becoming more simplified. Anywho, all right, have a great one. Talk to you later. Bye.